Okay, part 2. All right, so I have been working on not only patriotic cross stitch, patriotic quilts. So the first one I'm going to show you is the Thimble Blossoms Somerville quilt. I am doing this as a quilt along with Crafty Cottage Stitches and Carly Court. Let me start over. I am doing a quilt along with Crafty Cottage Stitches, Jeanette and Heather, and you can follow them on Instagram at Carly Court Cottage and White House Stitchery. And this is where I'm at. So last week, my daughter decided to come over. She has a quilt she's making for her father-in-law. He is going through some health issues, and she wanted to make him a quilt. So she came over and spent the day with me, and she worked on his quilt. And she is doing, she's doing a panel, and then she's putting sawtooth stars around it. And anyway, so she spent the entire day making flying geese, and then she ended up making one 6-inch square because she's, or 6-inch star, because she's putting 6-inch stars all around it. And anyway, I was teasing her because we had spent all day together and she had one star done, and I said, oh, well, I got a whole quilt done. She says, Mom, you had all the pieces together. I did. So anyway, here is my quilt. Now, you're not going to be able to see it very good. I am not done with the top. I still need to do the borders, and I was trying to decide, because I didn't want to do these borders. So I was trying to decide what to do, and I figured out what borders I'm going to do. So I still have to put the borders on it, and then it will be ready to go to the quilters. But it is together. The main part of the quilt is together. I can't see what you're seeing, so. And I believe I put this on Instagram. If I didn't, I will before this video uploads. So you can go over to Instagram and see it laying out, so you can actually see the quilt. But there we go. Anyway, so it just needs the borders, and then it will be done. And I already have the backing fabric for it. All right, this morning, between yesterday and today, I quilted a quilt, and I put binding on 2 quilts. So the first one I'm going to show you is this one, and I showed the quilt top in my video. I think my last video. So yesterday I quilted it, and I just quilted it on my machine, and I just did a specialty stitch, and I just did a wavy line through it. And this is one that was my leaders and enders quilts. These were pieces that were cut off from another quilt I was doing, and I didn't want to throw them away because they would make 2.5-inch squares if I sewed them together. And I thought I could make a quilt. Now this isn't a big quilt. It's only, I think, 44 by 44 inches. So it's actually a good baby size quilt, but it's not going to be a baby quilt. I have an old wash tub that was my dad's, and so I'm just going to roll it up and put it in that old tub. And then I did a piece backing with just some leftover backing pieces I had from other quilts. So, and I didn't have enough to like go, just use those 2. So I had to sew in this little piece. So anyway, and then the binding was also left over from the quilt. From this was fabric left over from the quilt that I cut, had cut these pieces off of. So I used that for the binding. So anyway, love it. It turned out so cute. And I will put this on my Instagram. I think it might be on my Instagram. If not, I will put it on there so you can see the whole quilt laying out. So this quilt cost me nothing to make because these were all pieces cut off of another quilt. The sashing was from that same quilt, the fabric that I had left over. The border fabric was from that same quilt that I had left over. The batting was from, when I take a quilt to the quilters, there's always extra batting that's on the quilt when they're done. And so I just cut that off, and I always reuse it because it's usually a big enough piece. I can use it for table toppers or table runners or even a baby quilt or whatever. So the batting was from another quilt, and the same with the backing. The backing fabric was from other quilts. So I did not purchase anything to make this quilt. This was all scraps. Right, the other quilt I want to show you is very appropriate for today. It is my flag quilt. This is just made from scraps that I had in my stash. I made this last summer, and I'm getting around to finishing it, of course. This is another Stash Buster quilt. The border was fabric I had in my stash. All of the fabric in the flags was fabric I had in my stash. The only thing I did buy is I did buy the backing fabric for it. And, oh, strings. When you're a quilter, you have strings on everything. And it's just a flannel. So, another great quilt. This one is, it's a good lap size quilt. So, if this is not on my Instagram, I will go ahead and post it on there also. Okay, now, are you ready for some enabling? Okay, so I have decided there are a lot of patriotic charts that I want to stitch. I love, if I could only pick one theme to stitch forever, it would probably be patriotic. And my favorite designer for patriotic is Plum Street. I think she does the best patriotic charts. So you're going to see a lot of those today. Next year, I'm already thinking of my plans for next year. And the reason why is because I want to make sure that I have all the floss I'm going to need to start these, and so I'm not scrambling when I get ready to start it to trying to find the floss and everything else. And I have not pulled fabric for any of the ones that I have already kitted up that I am planning on starting next year. But I am going to make next year my patriotic year. So almost not everything I start next year, but the majority of what I start next year is going to be patriotic. So I started kitting up some things that are like on the high end of my list. So I'm going to show you all of my patriotic charts that I have. I already showed you Summer at Hollyberry Farm. These first ones I'm going to show you are actually whips that I'm going to show you. So the other chart, so this is a whip, and these are by Little House Needleworks. And these are the charts that if you buy the thread pack, let's see if I can do this without really showing the chart. If you buy the thread pack, then you get the chart. And so I bought all 3 of these, and I've started this one. And this is one I plan on working on between this month and July. But this is where I am on this one. Long May She Wave. And I'm stitching these on 14 count picture this plus, I think it's heroic because it has a little bit of reds and blues in it. I think it's called heroic. I have no idea how I'm going to finish these. And that's usually part of my problem is I won't start something because in my mind I have to have a way to finish it before I start it, because if I don't have a way to finish it, you know, a finishing idea, then it gets put in just gets put in the drawer and forgotten about. So but I decided I really wanted to get these started, and I started them individually, and I hope I'm not going to regret it, because I don't know how I'm going to finish these. If anybody has any ideas, I want something, I don't know, I know I could finish it into a pillow, you know, pillows, or I could frame them or something, but I don't know what I want to do with them. So if you have any ideas, leave it in the comments below. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. The other patriotic whip that I have going, there's actually two. This was my Memorial Day start, and it's Union Forever by Maggie Bonomi. And this chart is published under Blackbird's Designs, but the chart design is designed by Maggie Bonomi. And she is she does wool applique. She's a wool applique designer. This is not ironed. I really need to iron it because the wrinkles are driving me crazy while I'm stitching. Anyway, this is what I got done on Memorial Day. And I am changing all the colors. I'm not using any of the called for colors. I believe I am using, show these out really quick. I am using, I don't know what I'm using. I know I'm using these three. These are Victorian model threads. And I think there's a green in it, so maybe these two greens. And I think there's gold, so that one. So anyway, they're all Victorian model threads, so none of the called for. And I'm hoping I get this one done between June and July. The other one in this bag was a start. I started this in May. I think I started this for my husband's birthday in May. And it's called Oh My Stars by Little House Needleworks. And I have not stitched on it since the last time I showed it to you, because I think I showed it in my last video. And that's where it's at. And it is on 14 count. I don't know, it's one of those printed ones where it's white on the back and then it has a little bit of modeling on the front. But so anyway, I'm hoping to get back to that one between June and July. Okay, so those are the rest of the patriotic whips that I have started. So the next things I am going to show you, these are charts. They're by Plum Street, and I plan on starting these for sure next year. I already have all the floss in them for each of them. Not 100% sure all these floss colors are going to be used, or if I'm going to switch them out, but they are these Plum Street charts. The Quality Sampler. This one is the Heritage Sampler. And a new Constellation. Now, I know these all have a lot of 1/1 in them, and I am an Ada stitcher. I am going to stitch them on 18 count. When it comes to the 1/1, I will figure something out. But I like the charts, and just because there's 1/1 on them does not mean I'm not going to stitch them. I'll figure something out. I may substitute something in there. I may just take part of, you know, they all have wording in them that is the 1/1. I may just take part part of the phrase or part of the saying, and stitch it. I don't know. I haven't decided, but I will figure it out. All right. These are, I got strings everywhere. Okay, these are other charts that I have all the floss for them. Well, this is all the floss for 3, and then this is all the floss for another 3. And these are ones I am for sure starting next year. The first one is Heartstring Samplery, a plant of rapid growth. This is a new chart. She just came out with it, I think, this month or the end of May. When I saw this, I fell in love with it. Love it. The other one, so the rest of these are Plum Street American Sampler. I absolutely love this. And then this is the Cereal Bowl collection of sampler lessons, and this is lesson number 2. And it says, ever faithful, ever kind, firm and generous, be thy mind. Generous, generous. Love it. I love that lady and that dog. Cute. Bless Our Land. So not all of these are big pieces. You know, I did show you a couple of the big pieces, but these are all just kind of smalls. This one is going to be big. Liberty Inn. Love that. George and Martha. I love that. I love that they're standing on their house. John and Abigail. And Summerhill. So, like I said, these are ones I started kitting up because these are for sure's that I want to start next year. And then, so let me know what you think. Should I do a mid-year video of a whip parade, showing all of my whips? I've started a lot of things this year. I wouldn't do any statistics of what I've finished, how many finishes, how many starts, whatever. I wouldn't do that. But I could go through and show you so you can see everything I've started. It would kind of actually might be good for me because then I can kind of reassess as I go into the rest of the year, you know, because we're coming up to almost to the middle point of the year, and it would I could kind of reassess of what whips I have going, which ones I can get finished before the end of the year. I have been kind of thinking, you know, I am doing Patriotic through the end of July, but in August I'm kind of thinking of changing a few things a little bit about how I've been working on my whips. I'm still going to have new starts, but I'm thinking of changing how I'm doing my whips and see if I can get if I can get some more of my bigger whips closer to finishes, rather than how I've been doing them. So let me know if you want a whip parade, because I could do like a mid-year whip parade and show you what I have, what I've started, what whips I still have to from last year that I haven't worked on or whatever. Anyway, so let me know if you'd like to see that. Okay, so the rest of my Patriotic I have in here. So we will just go through them. Okay, let's start with these small ones. I have Little House Needleworks, Patriots Inn, Little House Needleworks, Liberty Bells, and Little House Needleworks, Old Glory. I love these. These would be super, super fast to stitch up. All right, then I have Patriotic Poppies by With Thy Needle and Thread. And I don't have this kitted up except for with one thing of floss and the fabric. And then I have Land of Liberty. And I have fabric in it. But I don't think I'm going to use this fabric because I saw one done up the other day and it was so cute. And I like the fabric choice they had. All right, then we have Scarlet House, Hannah's Brownstone. Now, to me, if they have a flag in them, or they are red, white, and blue, they are patriotic. So Hannah's Brownstone by the Scarlet House. Flag Folk by Not Forgotten Farms. There's a lot of people stitching this one right now. Love it. I have Stars and Stripes Forever by Heartstring Samplery. It's a stocking. I think this is pronounced Manny Di Donna. Sounds of Freedom Pillows. Bent Creeks, Old Glory. Little House Needleworks, Suffrage Act. And it looks like I have fabric in there for it. Don't know if I'll use that fabric, but Little House Needleworks, Heart of America. I've had this chart probably since it came out in 2008. It says Little House 2008 special release. It's available now. You can get it. I think 123 Stitch has it. I've had this one forever. This is called Rise and Shine by Scissortail Designs. Love this one down here. The Scarlet House Patriotic Shaker Box Set. I love how the flag goes across those three houses. This one is Chessie and Me Friends at Mill Sampler. And it's got a flag in it, so to me it's patriotic. This is Grand Old Flag Sampler by Chessie and Me. This one is called Betsy 108 Exemplary by Sheepish Designs. This is not a good picture. Someone, I think it was on Instagram, posted, they're stitching this, and they posted it, and it is gorgeous. This picture is horrible. So this right here is proof. Do not go by the picture. And I think the reason I bought this is because I saw somebody's finish and it was just stunning. And the colors are just gorgeous. So, and I would not do it on that color fabric. Plum Street Samplers Summer Delivery. Plum Street Samplers Liberty Lodge. Now, when I first saw this, I was thinking, oh, it's a Christmas chart. No, it's not. It's Liberty Lodge, and it's got a flag and an eagle and flowers. Plum Street Samplers Grace on Thee. Love that house. Abby Rose Designs Long May She Wave. Now this is part of a series. This is part 1. I have part 1 and part 4. And then Abby Rose Designs In God We Trust. Little House Needleworks Americana Samplings. Love that. Country Cottage Needleworks Liberty Lane. And like everyone else, I've got floss to change the colors to make them brighter. Little House Needleworks Little Lady Liberty. That would be a fast one to stitch up. Silver Creek Samplers, Freedom Reigns. Now, everybody wonders if these have names. Most of the time it's on the back. So if you look on the back, it says Freedom Reigns. And then this one is called Liberty Hill Farms, also by Silver Creek Samplers. I would definitely change the colors up on that one. Too pink for patriotic for me. All right, the next one is Grand Old Flag by With Thy Needle and Flag. And then we got Strawberries and Stripes by With Thy Needle and Flag. And Happy Birthday America with Thy Needle and Thread. Did I say With Thy Needle and Flag? With Thy Needle and Thread. And I didn't buy the kit. I did not realize that you could buy a kit. But I'm sure I can find the stuff at Hobby Lobby. Liberty House by With Thy Needle and Thread. Where Liberty Dwells by With Thy Needle and Thread. And Basket Full of Summertime with Thy Needle and Thread. And then we have American House Sampler by Annie B's Folk Art. This one just came out for Expo this year. Love it. And then we have Stars and Stripes Forever, also by Annie B's Folk Art. And this one also just came out this year. Alright. And then this is it. I have 4th of July Picnic by Samplers Not Forgotten. And Betsy's Stockings by Plum Street. And then, of course, everybody has this one, Sweet Land of Liberty by Blackbird's Designs. I have not stitched anything out of this book, but I love everything in it. I want to stitch everything in it. And then I also have the Souvenirs of Summer, and I don't have it up here where I can even reach it, but you saw it earlier. And then I have One Nation by Gone Stitches. And this one is by Sub Rosa Designs. This is a PDF download that I purchased off of Etsy, and it is Let Freedom Ring. And this one is Threadworks Primitives, Beggar's Fourth. Land That I Love, also by Threadwork Primitives. And we got Betsy's House by Plum Street. And then this one I can't show you because it's Knee High by the 4th of July. I think it's called Knee High, yes, by Kathy Haberman, Hands On Design. She has since released the pattern, but mine was out of the Just Cross Stitch magazines when it was in there, and I had downloaded it when I had a subscription to it. So this one is Lady Liberty by Blackbird Designs. And when I stitch this, I'm just going to stitch the drum part. I'm not stitching this top part. I think she's funny looking. And then the last one is Stars and Stripes Forever by Bench Creek. So there you go. There is some patriotic enabling. All right, so I think that's it. Hopefully you see these soon, these videos soon. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, I am So Cozy Stitching on Instagram. And I just want to say thank you for watching my channel. I hope I've inspired you to that you want to go and find something that I've showed you to go stitch and or to purchase. And I will be back. Let me know if you want me to do a whip parade. I'm going to try to be back before the 4th of July. The end of June, first part of July, I'm going to be back. And I will do a little small tour of my quilts. They're hanging here, and cross stitch that I've hung up, and my new cabinet, and how I've kind of reorganized things. I had everything in a file cabinet before, and I've gone through and reorganized. So that will come up probably next week, I'm going to guess. I'll have to see what day I can film it. And then I will be back at the end of June, first part of July. But let me know if you'd like a whip parade. That's something I would like to know. All right, so that is it. Everybody have a wonderful day, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.